everyone, Chris Bennett, your blockchain beard guy here. Wanted to talk today about something that's getting a lot of attention in the blockchain space right now. That's blockchain and how it is affected or is going to be affected by GDPR. So if you're not familiar with GDPR, GDPR is a new set of laws and regulations that have just gone into effect in Europe that deal with keeping personal information, keeping private data about people, and how you can do that and be compliant. And one of the things about GDPR that's got a lot of people in the blockchain space talking right now is a provision in the laws that says that anybody you hold information on has to be able to opt out of your system at any time, and you have to be able to remove their information. And of course, as you know, the blockchain is an immutable ledger. There are no edits, there are no deletes on the blockchain. The only thing we can do is read data and write data. But once data is on the blockchain, it's permanent. It's there forever. And so this got a lot of people concerned. Well, you know, is this ruining blockchain? I've heard one commentator go as far to say is the GDPR has just ended blockchain technology. And I think that's a little too far to go. If you want to be compliant with GDPR and use the blockchain as part of your solution, well, then the answer is pretty simple. Just don't store any personal information about anybody on the blockchain. And GDPR or not, I'm not really sure that storing personal information about anybody, your customers, your partners, anybody you do business with or have relationships with, was really a good idea to begin with. So what we're seeing a lot of organizations do now is they are keeping that personal information, the personally identifiable information, or what we call PII, about the folks in their ecosystem in a conventional data store, like a database, somewhere where you can go and delete that data if a customer opts out. And then what's being stored on the blockchain is just a pointer to that data. That way, if that person ever opts out, the pointer may not go anywhere, but you have a pointer that points to nothing. So you're still GDPR compliant. Some other solution architecture ideas that can help you be compliant with GDPR. You know, think about storing all of that information in a data source where it can be deleted, and hashing all or part of that customer record to get a unique identifier, and using that unique identifier to store claim answers to be able to validate claims about a customer or an individual on the blockchain. So let me give you an example. If you want to go into a bar here in the United States and have a beer, you have to be 21 years or older. And currently, we prove that to anyone at the bar, typically by showing an ID, a driver's license. Well, imagine that the state keeps all my personal information in a database, and on blockchain what we have is we store a unique identifier for me, a hashed output of my personal information. And remember, a hash, once you have the hash, you can never reverse engineer what the input was. It's mathematically impossible. So we have a unique identifier on the blockchain that doesn't give up any information about my personal identity. And we can associate the answers to different claims about me that someone might want to ask or have an answer to on the blockchain as well. So you have my unique identifier, and one of the claims that you can answer on the blockchain is whoever this person is, represented by this identifier, are they 21 years or older? And for me, the answer would be yes. And so I could walk into the bar and I could put in my personal information into a device, get that hash output, and then be able to search the blockchain to validate my claim that I am over 21 and I would like to have a beer. So that's just one way you can use blockchain and be GDPR compliant, excuse me. The other thing that blockchain gives you that I think a lot of people aren't really thinking of is in those cases where a customer wants to have their data removed, you can remove it from that conventional data store, and you can store the record of that data being removed on the blockchain. So if that customer opts out, you have a permanent record that cannot be altered or tampered with, which showed that you fulfilled that request and you are fully GDPR compliant. So I think if you're creative in how you architect your solutions, blockchain is actually a helpful tool to be GDPR compliant. The two aren't necessarily at odds. But just something to keep in mind, blockchains are immutable. And so if you want to be compliant with these new laws that are going into effect all across Europe, well then just make sure you're not storing anybody's personally identifiable information on the blockchain, which is probably never a good idea anyway. So I hope this helps shed some light, helps some people in the community feel a little less scared and panicked about the big effects that GDPR might have on blockchain, and gets you thinking about some ways where blockchain may actually be a tool to help demonstrate compliance, not necessarily an obstacle to compliance. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this. So if you have any thoughts, if you agree with me, disagree with me, have completely different thoughts on this, share them in the comments. Let's get some good discussion going. Till next time, this is Chris Bennett, your blockchain beard guy. I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you soon.